Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. I'm soft again. I don't know why.
You sound alright here.
Okay. Let me adjust one thing with my OBS recording because I am on the recording. I think I am going to be softer. If everyone is physically, if not emotionally prepared,
I think so.
then I will start off with reading your summary, Graham.
It's not a very good summary.
Since I did so little, it's just been one of those months. I think it's because it's an election year. It's the the time is coming. Early voting has started in the state of North Carolina,
Yay.
and I have no life anymore. But yay! So I didn't start thinking about D&D for a change until like this morning. I woke up and I was like, "Oh my god, why did I sleep?" The last session we had a whole bunch of trouble because there was an update to Fantasy Grounds, and it was not a fun one. At least a lot of things changed, and we didn't like some of the features. It broke one of the extensions, and I have since updated that extension, and I think it fixed it so that the the saves and check dice and your ability scores that were added to the actions tab are no longer overlapping weapons.
Okay. Yes, that looks right.
Yeah, so I think it's right again. Now, the other problem was that this log window that should only be on my host screen and it should only happen when the application launches or when an error actually gets thrown that is new. Well, it kept opening up on your client sessions. I think that a hotfix was put in that fixed that
Okay.
because I'm not seeing the log window as much. I might have even tested it with like a client session a month ago and been like, oh, good, it's not showing up a lot, so maybe it's fixed. But that was so long ago. I can't remember what I did anymore. I might have just imagined that in a fever dream. So hopefully those two quality of life issues have been resolved for you guys. I also updated Terel's Bowblade to, in the weakest way possible, display that you do get extra damage against plants with that weapon.
Okay.
So I added a little teeny bit more to the description of the item, and you already were doing an extra 1d8 against undead and aberrations, which is technically double damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I just added plants to that description on your actions tab,
Okay.
in the hopes that you'll just use that to apply damage whenever you. It's not coded, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was all the housekeeping stuff. I actually made notes about like what round we were on for certain effects that were going on at the time we stopped combat, which amazes me. Oh, but I was supposed to be reading the summary. I'm not sure why I got onto the changes. This bodes so well for today. So you started out last session with a giant undead hand that was crawling towards you. So you fought it. And other than that combat went like Terel, you broke the tether. Because in the previous session to last session, you had discovered with your blessing of Maliki, your true sight granted by your goddess, that all of the undead creatures have these fiery green tethers or threads that seem to connect them, leading to the cemetery where all of you had that seemed to be Lord Brossfeather's headquarters of operations, as he was commanding some of his minions to dig and break into a crypt that is prominent within this Folly Cemetery, where a bunch of the survivors of Zelbras are barricading themselves. And they got about 8 hours before one of the people we ran into elsewhere in Zelbras thinks that they're probably going to break in at that point. So you broke the tether on this giant hand, And once you broke that tether, you see the green dissipate, but there's also like this tether that takes its place that's kind of just like dark gray. And rather than being connected to Folly Cemetery, where you think Lord Brossfeather is, it seems to be connected to the high forest and the dire woods. And the hand starts to wander away back in the direction of the woods. Yelena and Kai decide to finish it off anyhow. So yay. But you decide to, you took out a bunch of crows and blights. And the blights is when Terel, in attacking one of these plant creatures, you discovered that against plants, your bow blade transforms into a mighty battle axe that does extra damage against plants, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. But special feature of your weapon that you had previously not known about. You fought a bunch of hordes of zombies as you pushed further into Folly Cemetery. Now you're getting pretty deep in. You are just below the promontory that holds this large ornate spire that it shows sign of that it has been bombarded and that forces have been trying to break in, but it is still standing as an edifice. And there have been undead kind of closing in on you from different sides. There have been dire zombie wolves, um, crows pecking or ravens pecking from above. And in the center of it, there is your party, the three of you, uh, and then Good Boy, a celestial puppy that you discovered while you were in Zelbros, the village blacksmith named like Sigus Quararn or something, a tiefling named Cherish, and this guy you I think you rescued him from a barrel in the inn.
Yep.
Named Polton Gray or something. Yeah. So it's all of you against all these undead. And amongst the things that have entered the field are a zombie giant missing one hand, apparently the hand you dispatched earlier. And we ended the last session with an obsidian armored figure of Lord Brossfeather, wreathed in green flame, riding through the dark sky on his nightmare steed. He declared to all of you, "Join my army one way or another," as he entered the battlefield. And then he flashed out of sight for most of you, disappearing into the ethereal plane. But Terel, with her true sight blessing, could see his figure galloping through the sky ever closer. What's more, Terel could see that just like every undead in this village has a thread of green corruption that spindles back to this fallen knight, there is a thick sinew of the same energy leashed to Brossfeather's back, leading deep into the high forest. I'm going to kick off some doom music. So I think it's really loud with horns at the very beginning.
Doom. Oh.
Hopefully that's not too loud. Hopefully it's just loud enough to be stressful, but not so loud we can't hear each other talk. It's really low key right now. Tense violence. Like plucking away. Okay. Maybe, I don't know, does it need to be a little bit louder? I don't know. Okay. How's everybody doing?
Cool.
Let the combat commence. So where we last left off, it was Yelena's turn in the initiative order.
All right, you're gonna have to remind me. I can never find how to open up the map again.
I will share the map again. You can click on yourself, I think.
See, maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I'm clicking on the wrong self.
They've added a button now on your sheet character
Oh, they
sheets
have?
at the top. Yeah, that's how I got mine open today.
Oh, let me see where you've found that.
Like find token, is that the button?
Yeah.
Ooh, so there's a button the third from
Ah,
the left.
yeah.
Ah, okay, cool.
Has magic properties.
Very cool.
I think the other thing you need to click on first of yourself you can click on is if you click on yourself in the combat tracker, it'll take you there. But I could be lying. I've been known to do that when I don't know what I'm talking about. I just think I know what I'm talking about. That's a form of lying, right?
Meh.
When you're wrong through your own bravado. So yeah, do you have the map open now, Kim?
I do.
Alright, so what's Yelena gonna do? You can't currently see Lord Zelbros or the Nightmare. You can see a giant zombie giant that is staggering into place. There's a horde of zombies coming from the north. There are a bunch of dire wolves around you. There is I think it's everybody's favorite, a bloated zombie, a bloated ghoul.
You know, I just saw that on the tracker and I thought it said bloated goat, and I'm like, did I miss something last time?
This is the bloated ghoul. Uh-oh, my OBS is disconnected, so can you hear me in Discord? Has that disconnected?
No, I can still hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay, so it's just the streamers are screwed, but that's cool. There's only like 1.2 people, and it's probably me because I have chat open.
You know what? I'm gonna. So is the zombie giant got a line of sight on us? Is he heading our general direction?
Yeah, he's been clumping
Clumping. Okay,
your general direction for a long time. It's just only when he came around the spire of the crypt that he became visible.
Well, I'm gonna let my friends around me deal with the doggos. So I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
And we're off to a great start.
Woohoo! Natural one. You know, and all of you guys are maxed out on your inspirations.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you don't get anything. You're gonna have to use your inspiration if you want to get another. If you're planning to roll a lot of natural ones, you need to up your inspiration game.
Well, maybe we're just working out the kinks right now. All right, I'll just take my regular next shot here, I guess.
It's not like you can't use inspiration to reroll that attack die that you rolled a 1 on, because you already had inspiration.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my explicit hint here.
Yeah, maybe I should. What is it they say about people that like die of thirst in the desert and they've got water in their canteens because they're afraid to use it?
Yeah, afraid of using up the last water.
Yeah. Jeez. Did that do anything?
Yeah, you did better.
Okay, good.
You rolled a 19 total.
Sweet.
Oh, wait,
As long
did
as you don't
roll
roll a
success
1, you're
dice?
probably fine.
Oh no, wait, you're blessed. Never mind. And I'll say you're in round 7 of that bless.
All right, excellent. All right, so that was my inspiration one of those. So I've got another shot.
Okay.
That's better. Okay. And I don't know if... Oh god, what do I want to do? Do I want to move at all?
I don't know. You can move freely because you're not currently adjacent to anything.
That's right. I'm going to step back a little bit here.
All right, side by side with Fulton Gray.
Yeah,
It
with
gives
next
you
to
a
my
thumbs
buddy
up
Fulton.
as you move past.
I'm just gonna stand back a little bit to get away from doggos.
Wait, center
Alright.
yourself on one of the squares.
Am I not on the square?
You're like on a line. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, and that's your turn.
That's my turn.
So we'll move on to Sygus. Sygus, he is going to... He's going to, like, adjust himself slightly. Kind of getting even more in between these creatures. But he is going to swing at one of the wolves, the one that looks the most injured near him, with his lightning hammer. And he hits with a 17. And he finishes it off with 9 damage.
Nice.
Which I think is the most effective thing that he's done. So I think things
Yep.
are looking up compared to last session. Last session was a bit of a shit show for Sygus. I'm deleting a wolf off of this battlefield. He still has kind of like crows trying to pack above head, so he's not going to move anymore. But at this point, oops, the Eldritch Cannon goes off. So anything within 10 feet that is undead, which counts to these crows, as well as Dire Zombie Wolf number 3, potentially takes damage. And anyone within 10 feet infiltrated it. Sorry, I'm just refreshing my brain. Roll a d8. Alright, 7. So, Terel, if you have any damage,
Yep.
you get 7 hit points back.
Cool. Much appreciated.
Sygus is fully healed now. And, Cherish, was she injured at all? Yes, so she's healed up to max again. And I just want to make sure I have used the right crows. Okay. Man, there's sure a lot of things in this combat tracker.
Just a few.
So the crows are looking pretty messed up, and that dire zombie wolf. It's in this burst of positive energy coming off of this eldritch turret that Sygus has planted on the battlefield. Burst off of it, and the wave expands about 10 feet. And in this brilliant light, you feel the soothing balm of the positive energy. But around you, you see that the zombie wolf just seems to like sizzle and burn to a crisp in the radiance. And the birds kind of let out this like squawking as they caw in pain. So another zombie direwolf is McDead. Now it's Good Boy's turn. Good Boy is going to take after this zombie wolf that's adjacent to him, and he is going to bite. But he rolls a natural 1. Because he's just a puppy. This is his first real battle. And that is his turn. Now, the zombie swarm moves closer. Like, the crow is kind of technically like floating above the zombie swarm. And they try to surround Sigus. It's gonna be one of those days where my OBS does not stay connected to Twitch. Maybe Twitch is having having issues, or the server I use is having issues. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. I need to roll a dexterity saving throw for I wasn't attacking. I need to roll a dexterity saving throw for Sigus. I'm sorry guys, I think this is really exciting. But he evades them with an 18. So he's not surrounded by the zombie swarm, so he does not take any damage from the swarm. He resists their efforts to engulf him. Everybody roll a perception check.
Her perception. Eh.
All right, Kai. To the northeast. You see coming out from around a low wall, not so low wall, a wall that's at least 6 feet tall that barricades or goes around the crypt. A slow-moving form, feathered and furred, with a gait you're familiar with, but it's been changed. And when I say familiar, I said you've seen this kind of creature before, and you feel a little bit of dread as coming around this wall, scampering over it or clawing over it, you see a wounded and partially moldered form of an owlbear. A zombie owlbear.
Okay. I point it out to the rest of the group.
Terel's like, oh no, please don't let him sprinkles.
That's what I was thinking. No.
Yelena and Kai, make another perception check.
There we go.
Yelena, you realize that coming from your left flank or your western flank, there is another zombie swarm.
Good to know.
And it is gradually closing in. It is now Cherish's turn, and she is going to Eldritch Blast at one of these damn birds. She thankfully rolls high. and she does 9 damage to one of those crows, which is enough to take it out. But both of the murders of crows, they're basically a single bird left flapping its wings. And Polton Gray, it's his turn. He kind of like glances over his shoulder, and he kind of like glances at you, Yelena, and kind of like gives a wink, like, see what I got? And he's gonna shoot his hand crossbow at one of those birds, like he's a boss.
Like he's badass.
And he hits
Thought he
it
was
with
going
a
to look to see if he
22.
could run away.
Hey Bonnie, I don't think there's anything we can do about it at this point. It looks like for some reason in my spell slots I only have one button for first level. I
Okay.
should have 4.
There might be something I can do about it.
Okay. As I was
Yeah, and-
desperately looking at my spells, thinking, what can I do besides shoot?
All right. And Polton Gray takes out one of those damn birds. I really wish it was one of your turns, but there's so many things on this board. So the last little bird, it's going to try to peck at Sigus. Misses with a 13. There was another wolf that was kind of like far off that's running forward a little bit. And finally, it's Kai's turn, and I'll look at your character sheet, Kim.
I think I will shoot a firebolt at Zombie Wolf 2.
Cool.
Hooray! What did you do? So you did 5 damage to zombie wolf, direwolf 2.
Yeah, not very exciting, but
It's because of that 1 you rolled in the damage die. But hey, you damaged it.
and that's it. Yeah, that's it from me. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. It is Terel's turn.
Okay, is Brossfeather, like, still where he is on the map? Or is he cantering off?
He is still where he is on the map, visible only to you.
Okay. So, if I cast Faerie Fire on him, or it's the 20-foot cube. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw for the duration. Objects and affected creatures shed light. Any attack roll against an affected creature or object has an advantage if the attacker can see it. So what I'm thinking is if I cast... Hang on, let me mess with things.
Kim, you should have 4 level 1 slots now.
I do. Thank you so much.
Can I have some more level 3 slots, please? Are you supposed to have more level
Let's
2
just add. Let's add some extra ones. Yeah, if you want to throw a couple extra ones in there too, that's good.
You are supposed to have like 2 level 2 slots as well, right, Kim?
Yes.
How the chuff do I draw
See, it
a
looks to me like
square?
Kai has all the spell slots he's supposed to have.
Yeah. Yeah, you want some more.
I'm not sure what I did to mess up your slots, but yay, I'm glad I could figure out how to fix it.
It's always something.
Right, so if I cast it there, Faerie Fire, would it get all 3 of them, or are there some of them like some of them only partially in, so it won't count? Or will it at least get
no, I was just
Brossfeather and the Giant?
I was just thinking for a while if Faerie Fire is supposed to be working with these. I know it works with invisibility, but I wasn't sure I'm not sure if it works with the ethereal plane. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that it does. Why not?
Okay.
And yeah, I think if you put the square there, you can technically hit everything, all 3 of those things.
Alright, well then
Not
let
the
me see what.
tether, but like the 3 figures.
Then. What did I just do?
No.
That was not what I was trying to do. I was trying to. Shoot.
But if you move back,
Wait.
that's fine. It didn't affect anything. It just told us what your DC is. If you move
Right.
your like cube back once, you could potentially outline the tether as well.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'm not.
Roll saving throws, or have you actually targeted? Let me see.
I'm trying to see how to target. In fact, I need to get rid of this damn square now so I can do that. There we go. Right, okay, so how do I target him? Is it shift? Shoot. I don't know how to bloody target these things. Where? Oh. No. Where's target mode? You know, where? Oh, hang on.
Wait, here I've been talking to you, but I've been using the wrong push and shot key. There you go. Way to go.
All it does is draw a line. So Rach was saying there's a target mode on the map thing now.
Oh, is there?
But, and there's a selection mode as well, but...
Let me try target mode.
There's a target enemy.
Oh, that
unit.
works. No, wait. No, that doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work because I suck. Okay.
Oh.
How do I undo what I did?
Wow, this is really exciting for anyone who did actually decide to watch tonight.
Well, it was probably nothing to worry about because, like, OBS disconnects from Twitch enough that nobody's going to be able to watch it anyhow, probably.
I can't even get the damn thing to stay up. Oh, god damn it.
Whoa!
Yep. Did that? Some of it, is they all target?
The shit you have targeted right now!
What have I don't understand what I'm doing here. Is everything targeted? Oops.
Oh, let's see if I can get rid of some things. Okay. Yep. Okay.
I wonder if that's because I hit the target enemy units. I wonder if it targeted everything.
Yeah, it targeted everything, all the enemies. Okay, we're down to the 4 things that you actually want to target. Oh no! Oh no, it came back!
Sorry, that was me. I clicked stuff. Okay. I was trying to remove it. This is not an intuitive interface,
Okay.
Fantasy Grounds. I'm just telling you now, if anyone's listening.
We used to know what we were doing. Now we don't. Okay, I'm not sure what you do now. You haven't targeted. I think you just roll in the chat.
Ooh. Ooh, I saw things.
Thanks. Oh wait, I've been blocking the chat all this time.
Okay, so the undead giant saved. The tether saved. What are you bastards? Brossfeather. Oh no, sorry. The giant saved. The tether
giant saved,
failed.
But that's the only thing that saved. Everything else
Yes,
failed.
the rest failed. Right, so that means
everything else has Faerie Fire. Let me see if I have an effect for that. Otherwise,
right, so
it's just basically everybody gets advantage on those things.
yes. So any attack roll against an affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature or object can't benefit from being invisible. Which at least means that the giant is. It's a level 1 spell, so I better. Oh no, that's a bow blade. Does that count as a spell if it's my bow blade? It doesn't, does it?
What?
The Faerie Fire's from my bow blade, so does that count as using one of my level 1 spell slots? Or...
It doesn't count as your level 1 spell slot, it just counts as your ability for the day for that bow blade.
Cool.
So like if somebody this is me being like, what? I could have sworn I set these up after those twins, the doll kids that you bought.
Yeah, but Fantasy Grounds has updated since then, so they could have just buggered it all up.
Either that or I'm just like imagining things. I'm gonna look at you and see if I put something on your sheet specifically. Okay, I can drag this effect to the things. Okay. Or you could drag it, but like...
Okay, so I can drag things to it. Oh, I see, the effect. So would that be the target thing that I would have dragged to it then?
No, that's just the fact, like, now that they failed. And then we drag to you. If you don't have it already, the concentration of the Faerie Fire. So, if you get kabonked, it'll interrupt the spell. Actually, oh wait, never mind. I'll take that off because you did it from your item. So for 10 rounds.
Okay. Okay, so that classes as an action, doesn't it? So I can't attack anything.
And I took the concentration off of you because I don't treat, I don't know if it's supposed to work that way, but I don't treat, like, when you cast a spell from an item, I don't enforce concentration. Because it's not, to me, it's not like casting a spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to take all these things you targeted out of target. Okay. So everything, now there's this outline. I mean, you still don't, like, everybody still does not see Lord Brossfeather or the tether trunk or the nightmare, but they do see these outlines. They see a horsey outline, and they see the outline of this knighted figure, and they see this kind of, like, just this trunk leading in the direction of the woods to the north.
Okay.
And that is your action. Unless you have a bonus action, or you want to...
That's what I'm looking at, but I don't think I do. I could do a Misty Step, but I don't think I really need to do that. So I think I'm just...
You're not currently flanked by anything, so you can move freely.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What do we think is the best approach? Should we take the other stuff out, or should I intercept the giant? I'm going to intercept the giant. Okay. Alright, Kai's having technical issues. I'll be back in a moment.
Aren't we all? I am one walking technical issue.
Technical issue.
I've made you guys roll enough perception checks. I'm just going to have another zombie swarm start to move in from the northwest. Coming up behind the glowy outlines of Lord Vanyon Nightmare Steed. The bloated ghoul that is the big boy. Doesn't look so big on the map, but he's a big boy really. And he starts to move around this wolf and head toward Kai. Undead Giant, seeing this pipsqueak in shiny armor in front of it, raises its one good hand that is grasping a great club.
I raise my other one to give it a high five.
And smacks at Terel. And it misses with a 15. I'm so mad.
Yay.
I'm pretty sure it only gets one attack. Because, one hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, so that's his whole deal. The undead giant, and it looks kind of impressive. I mean, he's big and hulking, and he's like it's almost like there's this thunder creaking as his arm sweeps towards you, but he totally whiffs it. Zombie direwolf goes after Good Boy. Hits with an 18. Chops Good Boy, but part of the damage is absorbed. Let's see. What is that?
Because good boy is a good boy.
Oh, Good Boy has some extra little hit points. Okay, well, good for him. He's a good boy. He's got some good damage resistance. But Good Boy also has to save over being knocked prone. Good Boy stands firm. The puppy kind of digs in. And he takes the blow from the zombie wolf and doesn't take any damage. Lord Brossfeather, he rides forward on his nightmare steed. And realizing that he is this pesky outline. By the way, what color is your Faerie Fire?
Hang on, let me just check my colours again. Green.
All right. So He's surrounded in this like green light, but it is a different tone and shade, sort of like this like living, vibrant Kelly green in comparison to this murky, dark kind of putrid green of the flames that envelop Brossfeather's form, and that of the eyes of his nightmare steed, as well as the tethers. And in annoyance, he has taken corporeal form back in the material plane, and the nightmare starts to kind of glow in its own way with that like dark, murky green fire kind of shining its own miasma around their two figures. And the nightmare tries to stomp on you with its hooves.
Okay.
And as I do this, technically, like Lord Brossfeather is riding the nightmare seat right now. I just am not stacking them on top of each other because that makes it impossible for you to target things.
Mhm.
But, oh, the nightmare misses. This is not the first time that you've had the nightmare try to stomp you with its hooves. And just like before, you bob and weave out of the way, escaping any kind of hard blows. But on the tail of that comes Brossfeather's actions. Do I just say we're gonna do you? I'm sorry.
It's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Alright. He casts a spell. And for 30-foot radius, so Terel, you, the Eldritch Cannon, and Cherish are all affected. I'm gonna leave that circle up there until it begins to be annoying. Actually, I might draw a circle. And there's no save on this apparently. But each of you feel 1 point of health drain away from you within this 30-foot miasma. I'm saying the word miasma a lot.
Okay.
Poorly drawn circle.
It's close enough.
I'm trying to take the targets off. And as you feel just a little bit of energy, a little bit of like a sickening feeling sink into you, tether and the dark green flame of Lord Brossfeather seems to burn just a little brighter, as if you're feeding the flames.
Okay. So, does that mean we think that we need to kill the tether before we can kill him, or... I'm shouting all this back to the other guys. Guys, this tether thing's feeding off of us.
Yelena, it's your turn.
I can still see Giant, right?
You can.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay. Yeah. You can see the zombie giant. He did get the Faerie Fire, but he was never invisible. He's just a big old guy.
Do I drag that over? I'm sorry, guys.
Hunter's Mark. I think you do drag it to the zombie giant. The undead giant. Yeah, looks like he did.
Alright, we did it. Okay, excellent. Alright. Wait a minute. I rolled the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Ignore that. I did roll the wrong thing, right? Yes. Guys, I am not doing well today for some reason.
Let me put it. I feel like there's a struggle for everyone. Everyone's struggling. Oh wait, yeah. Is Rachel fixed?
Yeah. For now, yeah.
Okay. I just feel like I just ask. I didn't mean like is Rachel spayed or neutered, but.
Did it give the extra damage there?
Yeah, it did, but it was a sad one.
Okay.
You rolled some ones. The saddest rolls, but like it did take 5
No, there should be a
damage.
it should be a D6 though, right?
It was a D8. Oh,
Hold
it didn't
on.
roll your.
Yeah.
Hunter's Mark. You're right. It didn't roll the Hunter's Mark damage. Why did it do that? Let me double check. Oh, maybe. Wait, no. Oh, I think the effect is maybe somehow that one is on you. Okay. You know, we did figure out how this works.
Okay.
Once upon a time.
It's like this is what happens when you play once a month.
Yeah.
But yes, this doesn't make sense. Actually, I don't understand. Okay. Let me see if I can figure that out. At one point, we did figure out how Hunter's Mark works, and promptly forgot.
Doggone it.
Okay, I think we're supposed to drag it to you. I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me. Because that would like apply the damage to any old thing you hit.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway,
So-
let's see if it works right next time. But I'm gonna roll a d6, and I'll add it to the giant.
Alright.
2 more damage. And that's your first attack.
First attack. And it lasts a minute, I think? Or no, does
An
it last
hour.
an hour?
You can
Okay.
change it to a new target once you take out the one. So maybe that's why they apply it to you instead of the actual creature. There's probably an assumption that you're just going to attack whatever has the Hunter's Mark. But yeah, you get another attack.
Trying to pull it together. Wow, dude, I hit even when I miss.
But you should be rolling advantage, so...
There we go.
No, not the giant. That's the one thing that she doesn't
Oh, he saved. Yeah, sorry.
But you hit, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you did 14 more damage.
Yep.
And this time I rolled the d6.
And this time it worked. Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Science.
User interface. Yeah.
So do you have any bonus action or a movement that you
No,
can
they the hunter's mark was my bonus. So.
All right. So, Yelena, you pummel the undead giant with a couple of arrows. Pew, pew. Yeah, and they just like land into his body. At this point, he's not really feeling it. He's just still kind of like lowering down at Terel, like looming over the smaller armored form. And he's kind of like slowly, you know, hefting his great club for like another go. Sigus is not happy about like the zombie swarm in front of him, and so he casts a thunder wave in the direction that would like hit that murder of crows and the zombie swarm. So they both have to make a Constitution saving throw, and the save is not correct on the sheet. So we'll open up his character sheet. Is the saving throw sheet DC 13? Okay. So the zombie swarm failed, and so did the murder of crows. So the birds are taken out. And unfortunately, he does a whopping 3 damage against the swarm. I probably should have used like the 1 damage roll for both things, but hey, there we go. So let me get rid of that bird, those birds. And I think that Thunderwave pushed the zombie horde back 10 feet away. And Sigus is going to use this opportunity to back up a little bit now that he's no longer flanked by anything. And he's going to move the Eldritch Cannon like right next to
Dude!
You were, I think you were like, you were more than 10 feet away from it anyhow. So
Damn.
you were outside of its effects. So he's moving it so that it's still like within 10 feet of him and Cherish and Good Boy.
Well.
We saw it took damage. Like, do you like yell over your shoulder, dude?
Yeah.
Dude.
Dude!
Dude.
He's like, oh, sorry, I'll move it back. In a few, like in 6 seconds, I'll move it back.
Uh-huh.
The Eldritch Cannon goes off at this point, though, and it does heal. It doesn't affect anybody except for healing. It doesn't like do damage to any creature since there's no undead within 10 feet of it. But Good Boy gets healed for nuts for 4. And Cherish gets healed for that bit of damage she took. And
Does the cannon get... Because the cannon's got 1 damage.
And the cannon also does heal. Good boy. Good boy. He's going to try to fight Chomp this dire wolf again. And he hits with a 17. It's 20
Wow.
damage. And the dire wolf has to make a saving throw. He's being grappled in Good Boy's jaws. Puppy jaws. Are trying to sink in. For some reason, I thought that would be a strength saving throw, but it's not. Oh, but it makes it. It rolls a 15. So the zombie dire wolf evades being grappled in Good Boy's jaws. But he did some damage. Zombie swarm number 4 moves ever closer. As does the zombie owlbear. As does the zombie swarm. You also see at this point another swarm of zombies coming from the direction that the owlbear.
Like Night of the Living Dead in this place.
Yeah, you think? At this point, Cherish, she shoots an Eldritch Blast in the direction of Brossfeather. With a 19, she hits. And yeah, that did apply advantage because of his Faerie Fire.
It did.
Yeah. She does 12 damage. And you see, Terel, you can see that, whatever exuberance from that it gained, that drink that happened, that Eldritch Blast seemed to dull him back down.
Okay.
Cherish, she's also she's gonna back up a little bit. Just a tad. Yelena,
Mm-hmm.
make a perception check.
Have I perceived?
No, you do
Mm.
not perceive that Holton Gray turns on you.
Yeet! Yeet!
And he attacks Yelena with his rapier and tries to do a sneak attack. He hits with a 21. So this is the regular damage. concentrate. So you're, and actually, this is, I'm going to try to ignore that because it's rolling concentration because of your hunter's mark, but we're treating it with like some different rules that you're using it as a class ability, and I'm not treating it as a concentration thing. But, oh, sneak attack damage.
Ouch.
I need to roll 46. Oops. I thought I could just drag it. You take 18 more damage from the sneak attack.
Jeez.
I've lost Helena. Where's Helena? Oh, there you are. And Colton Gray calls out and he like moves forward, which means you can have an opportunity to attack,
Oh yeah.
you know, as he's moving away and runs forward towards Lord Brossfeather. So take your shot. And as you take your shot, he's calling out, "My lord, I brought them to you! So many new subjects I'm ready to serve! Make me strong like the others!"
Alright, missed him. You bugger.
And Lord Brossfeather like points to him. And he's, "You wish to serve? Bow down and be born anew." And much like almost like against his will, you see like the startled expression on Colton Gray's face as he drops to his knees, and his armor kind of just rips off and his chest pulls open and his eyes are like wide, and he kind of has a silent screen on his face as his flesh begins to alter, and it just looks like he's beginning to be eaten from some forces from without, and his body transforms, and he's no longer this like living human, smart ass slacker betrayer kind of person, but instead his figure becomes something ghoulish and undead, and he is replaced by ghoulish Colton Gray.
I just look over and go, schmuck!
How's that working out for you?
And he's just like kind of like slathering and hunched over. In a gruesome corruption of his former self. At this point, you realize there's a collection of ghouls in the west, and they're approaching. The star is not the wolf, which I think I've got it targeting everything and its cousin. Let me take those off. I think that was from earlier having fun with Lord Vanyon or something. Or your spell.
Sorry.
This zombie. It's gonna move forward and flank Good Boy, so it's gonna have pack tactics advantage. Natural 20 against Good Boy. He bites the puppy for 21 damage. It is partially absorbed. But let's check and see if it's not thrown. But he is not rogue. So he's got a lot of health still, but he's been knocked down, and the wolves could potentially do some damage. Zombie swarm. This map is too full of things. It moves up behind Terel, and it tries to surround you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, Dexter 6.
Alright, you avoid being engulfed. The zombie owlbear, it's still kind of moving forward, but it's getting closer. You start to pick up that it's approaching Kai and Yelena. This zombie swarm is also coming in on Yelena, but it hasn't reached you yet. You realize at this point the mist is getting heavier and heavier. It's thick. It hasn't quite obstructed your view, but you just kind of feel like the weight of it, of the dampness holds to the air. Cherish, she does another Eldritch Blast focused on Zelbros.
Have you just skipped a bunch of people? Because didn't
I
Cherish?
think I did. Hasn't she already gone?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it looked like you put the ghouls on
I
it,
did. Wait.
and then it's missed a bloated ghoul. It went straight to
it's
zombie
the ghouls.
5, and then
I know what I did. I was applying something to something, and then I just resumed. I think it's Kai's turn.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
can
know what it was. Oh God. Okay, I know what it was though. It was good boy.
Can-
I made a prone.
Can I see Brossfeather, the Tether, Nightmare?
You can see everything outlined that would have been invisible. So you can see that the tether and Brossfeather and the Nightmare all have a little outline.
Right. How do I tag it again? Do we know?
Eternal mystery. How did you do it?
I don't know.
I think you hold down the control button and click on the things you want to target. I think you have to highlight yourself first, though. 'Cause, like,
Okay. Right, like that. And then if I drag my spell to all three, to all of those,
yeah, so you've got 4 things targeted right now.
yeah. So if I just drag it once, it'll do it on all of them.
If you roll it in chat, it will do it against everything that is targeted.
Okay, right. Well, I'm going to use my last level 3 spell slot and have a go at them.
Alrighty.
Right, hang on.
Alright. I see some failure.
The Nightmare succeeded by the
The
looks of it.
Nightmare succeeded.
So
Everything
damage-
else failed a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so damaging the chat as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, look at all them dice. Oh, he
So the
resisted the
giant-
fireball.
You discover the giant is vulnerable.
Damn it.
So the giant takes more damage than normal.
Oh! Yeah, sorry.
Right. But
Put it
Lord
wrong way.
Brossfeather and the Nightmare,
They didn't take out, did they?
they are not subject. You realize, like, okay, they're kind of engulfed in green flame right now. So they seem to have some kind of resistance to fire, since, like, being on fire is their normal state. But you do damage the tether trunk for a chunk of damage.
Okay.
And because Terel can see more than an outline, you see that with this fireball, Kai has hacked away a good third of the thickness, made a good chunk into this sinew holding Brossfeather from the Darkwood.
Okay.
Alright, that's me done then.
The zombie giant also looks severely burned. Like there are bones, charred bone is clearly visible from the majority of its body with just a few patches of flesh. And there's like scorched entrails kind of hanging out now out of his gullet. There's like a very startled undead giant expression. And his great club is a little bit scorched.
Is it Terrell's turn?
It is Terel's turn.
Right. So I know you've got the trunk and Brossfeather and the Nightmare separate, but are they actually all on top of the Nightmare?
Yeah, technically. I mean, the tether's kind of behind, you know, because it's like extending from his back. But like Brossfeather is on top of the Nightmare, so that.
So could I?
He's kind of adjacent to you. You could attack him with a weapon.
So can I attack the tether?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to attack the tether. Do I do this with like the undead damage on the bow blade, or is it just a normal bow blade?
Roll the attack. I think that like you had learned that it's resistant to a lot of damage except for psychic and radiant, I want to say, from your tests before.
Okay, so that's a hit, yeah?
Uh-huh.
That's what I mean though. So I've got like, because I've got like the two things that I can use for attack. Do I use the normal bow blade attack, or do I use the 2d8 for the undead?
Let's see, because I think I wasn't treating the tether as having a class, but we might treat it as undead.
Okay, then
I
I
do
will.
treat it as undead, so yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use Divine Smite. Should add an extra 2d8 damage to it. Okay. I think that was a second level spot. Hang on.
You did.
No, that was a level 1.
You did 27 damage to the tether trunk. So you now sliced through more than half of it.
Okay, then I'm gonna go in with another one. Okay, right, hang on.
Okay.
I want to cast my Divine Smite at level 2 this time,
Whoa.
which I'm trying to work out how to do. So that is Divine Smite each. Do I put the effect for the base Divine Smite and the extra level on me?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how that works. in
Think
Fantasy
so.
Grounds.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Did I set up an extra level?
Yeah, you've got something underneath it says, oh, ah!
What? And with that, wait. So you run back and you smite the tether trunk. And as this radiance emanates from your weapon, you shatter the tether connecting Lord Vanyon Brossfeather to the dire wood. The green flames enveloping his black armored form dissipate. His body jerks and convulses as he falls off of the back of the nightmare. You see him rip his helmet off and throw it aside as if in revulsion, and he's kind of scratching and pulling at his armor as he's kind of collapsed on his knees in the mists and this darkness. You see, now that his helmet's been pulled off and the flames have evaporated, the gaunt, sunken features of what was once a handsome man, and he's searching frantically about these ruins of Folly Cemetery with an expression of dawning, horrific realization, taking in the landscape of fallen villagers and destruction that was unleashed by his hands. And he begins to sob quietly. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Until there is no more breath in his lungs to make sound. And Terel, you see a new tendril reach out from the wood and start to tie to him, something dull and gray. And as it binds, the horror begins to fade from his features. His features slacken as any last semblance of identity fades away. And the figure that was once Lord Vanyon Brossfeather lurches to its feet, turns, and begins the staggering trek to return to the dire wood. This time, the equal to countless generations of the Zelbras dead, and one by one, the other creatures in this battleground that were slowly closing in and surrounding all of you. They follow him, lurching back toward the high forest, the area known as the dire wood. I'm pausing battle music. And
Just going to do a little dance.
do a little dance because
Woo!
you smoked that. And it's a good thing you did, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because I will say, like, okay, you were so close to the top of the round. And at the top of the round, bad things were going to happen.
Well, thank God for not using my spells then.
Because you know who else has Fireball? Who else had Fireball?
Uh-oh.
Live by the
So,
fireball, die
yeah.
by the fireball.
Yeah, so this was your only chance to not get Fireballs. It was like,
Yay.
yee!
So does that mean everything else has gone back to normal undead type stuff, even Polton Grey?
Everything is undead, but nothing is controlled any longer by all of the signs of the green energy. Yeah, I'm just going to kick off this music and let me continue the narrative. The sounds of battle begin to fade. And the sounds of the undead begin to fade as well, as the forms slowly move farther and farther away to the north. You can pick off anything that you still feel the urge to as it moves in the distance. It's not like Yelena doesn't have the ability to shoot things from hundreds of feet away. So if you want to take a couple pot shots to cull some of the undead as it leaves, you're free to do that, Yelena. They are one of your favorite enemies, after all.
Are they? They're all retreating though.
They're all retreating though. There's
nothing.
nothing is engaging you in combat any longer. And I'll say that Good Boy, he takes a chomp out of one of the zombie direwolves that he was engaged with that was really looking in bad shape.
I think you should have a shot at that Polton Grey.
Yeah, if you
like
don't,
it.
I'm going to get him
I
on the way
like it.
past.
And
Yeah.
the zombie giant was almost gone too. It's slowly like falling. You also notice that the clouds and like the darkness of the skies over Zelbros have begun to clear.
I'm not sure how I feel about letting Brossfeather go back to the forest in case whatever had him finds it again. Nice hit.
You're shooting at Molten Grey. So you do a bunch of damage to him. And we can just say, if you want to take Polton Grey out in a like little fit of vengeance, you have plenty of opportunities to shoot at him in the time it would take you to like, because the thing is, you notice though, as you continue to pelt him with arrows, and he's just kind of having chunks of flesh knocked out, that these undead are placid. They aren't aggressive. They don't seem to, even when you attack them, they don't seem to have any desire to fight back. They're just these fleshbacks.
Yeah, they're all kind of pathetic.
Mindlessly, yeah. It's like you're beating a dead horse.
Yeah. What about the nightmare then?
Yeah,
what about
that's
that?
what I'm thinking of.
Because that's not undead, is it?
Yeah, within a minute, the nightmare has faded out of view.
Okay, that's good enough.
Right. Terel
Actually,
just
a little
goes
bit,
over
a
and
little bit less than a minute. The nightmare has faded out of
It's
view.
gonna be thinking about that.
die.
I died.
Die.
Oh no, swing.
Oh, come on!
Likewise, as the sky clears and you see the first glint overhead that you have seen in days of sky blue, little shining light. At this point, Terel, for a few seconds after Brossfeather, or what used to be Brossfeather, begins the march away, your vision of the nightmare fades. While the Faerie Fire remains, you can no longer see the tethers. And you can tell that your blessing from the goddess Maliki has come to an end.
Okay. I take hold of my symbol and just give a little prayer of thanks to Maliki.
Also, the mist has not dissipated. There's still like a cold, damp, wintry aspect to the air. And you find it curious, and you're beginning to, contemplating commenting about it, when you hear sounds rushing up from the south of footfall and clambers of armor. And you see this group run up into the gates of the cemetery. A familiar face. And several familiar faces. You instantly recognize the armor and perhaps unwelcome form of Lord Jomont Shieldbearer. And with him are the soldiers and that cleric guy, was it Garen Ravenshade? Who
Something like
who
that.
were in Succumber. They have caught up with you. And with them, they also have the woman from the caravan outside of Zelbras, Vina, and Uncle Fetty. They were all racing up here, and he's like, "Ho there, Lord Brossfeather." And so they're all like running up, and he has his like great sword out. He's ready to go, and he's like, sees that all of the undead are lumbering away. And he's, "We came to your aid."
Terel throws her hands up in the air.
What has happened? It looks like you had everything under control. Well, we did dispatch a few undead on our way here.
Wonderful. Let's go see if we can see if them people in the mausoleum are still alive.
You start to walk towards the mausoleum, and you hear a crackle from the west. Like the sound of ice hitting water. There's a few low growls that follow. The sound like a flail of metal against iron and more crackling ice. And here you see another unwelcome sight, but familiar, as the form of the priestess of the crushing wave floats in on a wave of ice over the gates.
What?
And she surveys the scene. She sees the undead that are moving away, and you sit behind her. There's a figure. I'm not sure if you guys ever saw it before, but there is one figure of a sea elf by her side. There's also another figure of like a kind of like a captain, like a buff guy who is riding in a chariot behind two alligators that I think Yelena had an interaction with. But you recognize these figures from the assault on the mines underneath the Redcliffe Quarry. And the leader sees the undead moving off to the north, and she gestures to the captain with the alligators, and she's like, "Clear them out." And he nods, and he turns his chariot with the alligators, and he goes after the undead, and they just start pulling the bodies apart. And she turns her gaze back to you, and make a perception check.
I want to know where all these people were when we were fighting all the bloody swarms.
Well, you took out the tether.
Are we all perceiving?
Yeah, everybody can perceive if they can perceive. Yelena, you perceive. You perceive that there is a look exchanged between the blue figure, the sea elf that is at the leader's side. It's like a look of recognition between him and Jomont and Garen Ravenshade. They obviously recognize each other. And with that, you kind of conclude that, oh, this might be that emissary that they were supposed to rescue. That was kind of like the ransom for the Crushing Waves threats against Succumber. Because you remember there was something, like before you left town, that there was some harebrained scheme that Lady Belliphauna and those two got up to that involved bringing this guy back from the dead and getting some kind of hijinks. You guys didn't want to know the details of that plan, I think. Of whatever.
Yes, I think that's
up.
yeah. We know part of that one.
But Yelena notices that look, so she's like, "Oh yeah, I think this had to do with that stuff we don't want to know about." Even then, you're kind of like a little suspicious because cultists are your other favorite enemy, and now you're like, maybe I should have asked more questions. But the leader, she looks at you guys and she says, "Well done. You're more efficient than I expected." What do you guys do?
I'm just muttering to myself. It's like the fucking nerve of these people. We are bloody. Oh, yeah.
I see. You think you did it all by yourself. That may be true. You did an excellent job. But
Ow.
we were always here.
Really?
And with that, you see the mists around you coalesce and divide, and they seem to form these cloudy elemental creatures. She kind of smirks at all of you, and I was waiting for the proper moment to strike.
Uh-huh.
And I also wanted to see what you were made of. Our last encounter was cut so short. She also turns her attention to Lord Jomont and Garen Ravenshade. Wasn't there another with you? And then she turns to Emissary Flo at her side. Wasn't there another with them? The river touched. And he responds, I don't see her.
We're talking about Belliphauna.
Yes. So they refer to her as river touched.
Interesting.
And Lord Jomont calls out, what business is that of yours? And the leader responds, well, it's not really any of your business. But there's time for everything. She looks at all of you again. She's saying, we are territorial, you understand. I don't mean to challenge you. You've done us a service in handling the situation that dared to impeach some of my people and some of my creatures. I respect that. So I won't take you out of my side, and I will not engulf you today. But perhaps in the future, we might mean something else to each other. I have noticed that you provided some assistance to those pesky cultists. And her grin she has this grin that kind of like spreads, and it's a little bit mean, and it's a little bit ironic as she says cultists. Like, she doesn't really consider herself to be of the same class as the cult of Black Earth or the cult of the Eternal Flame and their alliance, the Wrath of Glass. They've been a thorn in my side, but I think the time is coming where they should be flushed out. And then we might find each other useful. catching up to me again soon enough. And with that, they start to leave. Kind of moving in the direction to like continue killing all of like the zombies that are retreating to the forest.
I'm happy to delegate to them.
If you have any
I point to
questions,
Paul and Gray and say, "Can you get rid of that one, please?"
if you have any like comments or questions, sure, or as they depart, you can like maybe ask one more question. But otherwise, we're going to pause for a little adventurous break.
I think I'm confused about since the last time we saw them what they were. Yeah, let's. I need another drink, so we'll do it when we come back.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Little adventurous break, 10 minutes. Woo woo.
We're back.
Welcome back.
I found some notes.
Some notes.
I shall wait for Elena to reappear before I read. Also, I've just pointed out to Rich that I'm really annoyed. I've forgotten to use my cloak of squirrels again. God damn it!
I'm back.
Hello.
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 Welcome
Right.
back.
Okay. So what I've got is from notes from previous sessions. Is that at some point we went back to the inn and Belliphauna and Jormont were huddled by the fire, and she rushed us up to her room where she shows us a dead blue person,
Yep.
and that's the
I'm back.
emissary
Yeah,
floor.
so you recognize the guy.
Okay.
Like,
So
that
she
guy was
said that
dead!
She snuck into the Cat and Cucumber, spied on the first rod, and the rod was interrogating the emissary about Loudwater, which is something to do with Maliki when she was walking the earth. And then Kai heard Belliphauna and Jormont come back overnight because Kai only needs 4 hours sleep. Jormont was wounded, so I guess that's why he was staying behind, wasn't it? And carrying money. And then Belliphauna says they brought the emissary back to life and returned them to the cultists. Right, that's as much as I've got. So, the Crushing Wave cultists were going to attack the town because of their emissary being missing.
Yeah.
Belliphauna rescued and revived the emissary, that person, to prevent them from attacking the town. Then presumably,
Yeah, but you also like recovered the control codes for the golems.
golems.
that
Yeah,
defended
so
the
we
town.
had defenses.
So like they had defenses if they'd attacked, but as a backup plan, yeah, those 3 kids.
Right, but I'm a bit confused about why the priestesses followed us here. That's all.
Oh,
Or is something happened between them and Jormont that's brought them here? Is that what we need to find out, sort of thing?
well, some things to clarify is yes, you said something before about like that Jomont was injured, and is that why they stayed behind? And yeah, that was why they stayed behind. That those guys were pretty messed up. So he needed a day to recover before he hit the road, and so they were behind you by a day. But you guys had enough distractions or whatever messing around town that he finally caught up to the caravan again while you've been having your adventures.
Okay.
The other thing I'll say, I'll just have you guys do an insight check because I'm not quite sure unless you like piece together some stuff as you're on your own as character. You've had some clues.
Okay, I just don't appreciate that she turns up as if like she was there to save us, sort of thing. When oh, see, I'm that annoyed. I've rolled a 1.
So nobody has a clue why she's here. Okay, out of time because I'm feeling sad for you guys. Roll history checks.
I've got an even worse thing with history. Oh, but I rolled a 20.
Natural 20, I get to do a shot finally. I was just thinking to myself during Little Adventures break, I was like, well, everybody must. No, you guys have been rolling badly, but like nobody's rolled a natural 20 except for me.
I'm just happy we didn't roll badly in the battles. Or the battle.
Yeah, that's the second time you've really gone to town with a smite.
I know, and when it works, it really works, doesn't it?
Between that big bag of hit points during the siege of the cabin, where you just like smote it in one round, and between the fireball and you pretty much smote the tether in one round.
Yay!
Which was good. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it was
So do
the
I
tether.
have to find it out that he had fireball.
The tether was always there as kind of like this alternate way to handle the problem. And you took it. So huzzah.
I just had this feeling that the tether was a key to either being able to kill Brossfeather or potentially release some of the undead to make the fight a bit easier for us. So I'm just glad it worked.
Yeah. It definitely made the fight easier. So, with your nat 20 in history, you remember that there've been instances that you have, since you've entered Zelbros, that you saw like things in the river that flows through and around the city that looked creepy and that like they had been affected by the undeath and the conditions that Lord Brossfeather had like claimed things that come into his territory. And among those things, when you were defending the blacksmiths and working the wheel, one of the things that attacked you was a giant frog creature, just like what you'd seen the High Priestess of the Crushing Wave riding when they flooded the Red Cliff Quarry. So I'll just say that you can remember signs. You can remember instances where you think Lord Brossfeather and his claiming creatures that came into his territory as undead, obviously encroached on the Crushing Wave's territory. And from your past experience, they don't like that. They're big on vengeance when people have slighted them.
Okay, so they were basically coming at you to help sort it out themselves because they just didn't like the fact that he was grabbing their creatures, right?
They came here to like open up a can of whoop ass, and they were kind of maybe watching what you were doing, you know, to see if.
So they were trying to see if we could thin it out a bit first before they came riding in.
Yeah, it was a little bit of strategic. Like they were waiting to see if you were going to handle it, but they had stuff in place to swoop in if things did not go your way. Because they wanted to make sure that he did not continue. And because of them being not exactly being a bit vengeful, that's why they're off slaughtering these zombies that are just, you know, dumb bags of flesh stomping north. They're just freezing and chopping them all up. Jomont approaches you, Terel, and kind of gives you a nod, and his expression is very open, and he kind of tucks his head down. He's like, I'm sorry we didn't get here sooner, and that you had to handle this all yourself, but excellent job.
Thanks.
Well done.
I just look at him. And then I look at Kai and Yelena and
I guess we got to get back to.
we need to get the people out of the mausoleum.
Yeah, Sygus has already moved on to the
to the crypt, to the mausoleum, and he's like approached, one of the sides, and as he walks around, he's like kind of doing this, the evaluation of an engineer kind of thing is going on, and he's knocking on the exterior a little bit, and you see like places where there was this gully, like there's this obvious digging in the earth, like where they've been burrowing underneath, trying to come in from the underground, and how progress. You can see how close this tunneling had gotten to the crypt itself. And as Sygus is knocking around the exterior, and Cherish is kind of just following along behind, and Good Boy is like arf, 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 nipping at his heels and sniffing around like the base of the crypt where the stone meets the earth. So you hear like a slight change in sound, where like the knocking becomes slightly more hollow, and then he like lets out like a shave and haircut 2 bits kind of thing. And you hear like another knock come from the inside. And he lets out a shout. He's like, "We're here! It's clear!" Following up with like, "Scouts honor!" And with that, you hear like there's sounds and there's activity, and people like kind of like a flurry of motion, and a sound of rocks being moved and hammered, and after a few minutes, out one of the exterior doors, there is a sound of like wood being pried away and more stone, and then finally one of the doors opens, and an armored figure swiftly like jumps out, slams the door behind him, looks around as if to confirm that it's true, lets out a sigh of relief when he sees like just a bunch of living people standing in front of him. And then he opens up the door again, and then you see behind him there are several figures, like half a dozen adults, and half again is more of children, and they all slowly like make their way out. They're like all dirtied, and they look a little bit like they've gone without too much food. They haven't starved, and overall they're pretty healthy, but like they've obviously been underground for a few weeks. And they all look at you with hopeful eyes, like, "Is he gone?" The leader is the armored person, and this, you see him kind of clasp and like kind of embrace both Cherish and Sygus, and Good Boy kind of like runs up to him and like leaps into his arms, and he's like, "Good boy, that's a good boy." And Good Boy's just like, "Arf, arf, arf. Yes, you did a good job." And he's scratching his ears, and you can tell this must be the Warden Culpepper. That you had seen reference to, or had heard reference to.
Okay.
And he calls greetings to you. "Well met." And then he looks with like eyes, sad eyes of concern, and is there any word of Tala? And Sygus nods. He's like, she's fine. She's with Helen in the south." And then Sygus turns to you and he snaps his fingers. He's like, weren't we supposed to do something to send the all clear?
Yeah, the all clear signal, and I can't remember what it was. Hang on.
Right, a smoke signal or something.
Right, it's
Yes,
like-
wasn't it something to do with Kai had the abilities to do it?
Yeah, Kai knows all about smoke signals.
Hang on. I'm trying to find what we said we were going to do.
Do I have any notes about what you were going to do?
I mean, that's the question. Do any of us have any notes about what we said we were going to do?
I actually made a note about it. So you were going to make smoke signals that said safe or go. Like if you do safe, then they'll move north to rejoin the rest of the survivors. And if you say go, that means things have gone bad for you guys and they should try to make a break for it towards the caravan.
Safe.
Okay. Safe then.
Okay.
You see the Culpepper, he comes over and he like shakes your hand and he thanks you for what you've done. And
I'll ask if anyone needs any healing.
you see a few people like, yeah, Yelena.
I do.
Yelena.
I would like to cast lay on hands on Yelena. If I can find it.
There, a few of the survivors have some wounds. Good boy could use a little heal.
Yelena really needs some healing. I think
Yeah,
Good Boy
I
could
know.
rest.
And-
I can give you 5. Right, so I can give you 25 back.
That's nice.
Right, there you go. I'm just going to keep one for emergencies, just in case.
You also see that Garen Ravenshade. You remember he was a cleric. He's healing people as well. So he does a
Oh, okay, that's not right. Oh, that's you. Never mind.
That's me.
I got very confused then.
He heals Yelena for 18 points, unless you're doing all of them.
Well, I'm doing that. She's just got 9 damage left.
All right, then he's going to do a level 1 spell, and he heals for the rest of the way.
Thank you.
He heals you for the other, he heals you for 11.
Okay.
And then he likes touching up the wounds of a couple other of the survivors who have injuries that haven't, they're all stable, and it looks like the Warden Culpepper has done his best to take care of everyone and tend to everyone's wounds as he was able, but he's been kind of juggling both trying to protect them and keep the zombies out, as well as making sure they had food and water and taking care of their well-being. So he's been stretched a little thin, and he's pretty tapped. But
So how many
Ravenshade-
townspeople have we got left then? How many's in the mausoleum?
There were there were 16 total in the mausoleum.
All right, and we've got Sigus, Cherish.
Sigus Cherish, so that's 18.
Yeah, then the ranger was that Toller.
Good boy, you count them as one.
The 2 kids,
Helen Blankship, Tala, and the other kid.
and then the man and the woman.
There's the man and woman
that
who
we found
are
in
now
the-
in the remains of the cabin.
Yeah.
Like the one whose arm has been cut off, and the guy who wants to redecorate.
Then do we want to suggest that they could come with us if they want to Parnas, because this seems like not enough people to repopulate a town.
There's Vina and Uncle Fetty and the 2 kids that she rescued.
Yeah.
So all in all, there's maybe 25.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
25 survivors, and from the talking you find out that there's 25 survivors out of what used to be a village of about 800.
Yeah, I'm gonna approach Culpepper and just say, look, I don't know if you want to stay here or not, but we're with the caravan going. It's Parnas, isn't it? We're going to.
Yeah.
And just explain about, Lady Belliphauna trying to improve the village and stuff like that, and just say, look, you guys have been through some crap. You guys are strong, and I'm sure she would appreciate your abilities if you wanted to join us. But I would understand if you wanted to stay here and try and rebuild your village.
He rubs his chin and he looks around. We'll have to talk amongst the survivors, see who wants to stay or go. Some may wish to try to trek back to Succumber, some may take you up on that offer. I will judge based off of the needs. If there are any that are choosing to stay here and try to rebuild, it would be my duty to maintain the temple and try to protect them the best I can. But if they are of a different mind to leave, there is the Shrine of Axes in Parnast, and one aspect of the shrine is Lady Shonday, so there would be a place for me.
Well, I just think you've been through so much trial and tribulation. That's not the word I wanted, but over the last few months, last year, I don't know how long this has been going on for. It just seems like if you didn't want to stay here, you don't have to. There are options for you.
It feels like a year, but it's probably been months. So you talk to them, and at this point, there's just like some time takers. People like kind of recongregating. Everyone kind of goes out, checks out. They start to like scour the village for any other survivors, for the people that you know about, and just to make sure that there's nobody else. There's also a lot of there's dead, because not everything was able to stand when the undead were finished with them. So there's some remains to clear as well, and the survivors seem to want to do a general kind of ceremony to kind of honor the dead, and at least gather there's a temple called the Sheaves that is not too far from where the blacksmith was. Because you guys cut over the roofs, you never really walked around it, kind of skipped that part. But there is a temple with like a gold-plated roof, and it's kind of like embossed with giant sheaves of wheat, where they talk about they're going to gather and just do a little ceremony of remembrance to honor the dead. And Culpepper asks you, as well as Jomont and Ravenshade, kind of is gathering the it kind of gravitates for gathering Terel, because Terel, you seem that to a certain level, Jomont is deferring to you as being the leader of what has happened here. And even though Jomont and Ravenshade have introduced themselves as these lords, Warden Culpepper is kind of taking that into account, that if he's deferring to you, then you must be the person to really confer to, and he needs to include you in whatever he's talking with them about. So he discusses with you that they want to take some time to try to, people to salvage what they can out of what remains of their belongings. People are having the discussions about who wants to stay, who wants to go, and if someone wants to go, where are they going to go? They also talk about they want to have this ceremony to remember the dead. And Jomon also brings up that, yes, the caravans to the south, we need to notify them of what's going on, because if we take too much time, they're going to start trying to head off. We need to tell them that things have happened. And he's kind of rueful at this point. He's like, Lady Belliphauna, she's very determined. She doesn't like... She seems to feel strongly about schedules. So...
Alright, did John come on horses? Did he, or is he just coming on his own legs?
They're all on foot. Vina Tor also approaches you. I don't know about these other guys. There's some people who grew up around here who might feel like some kind of tie to the land. I don't know. I'm hoping these survivors are smarter than that, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take you up on the offer and hitch a ride, hitch my wagon and Uncle Fetty's to your caravan.
I am sure that you are more than welcome, and I will happily vouch for you with Lady Belliphauna.
Brighter days, and from what I hear, Harnest, place of opportunity. We could use a little bit of that. And that right
Alright, so...
And he just kind of Uncle Fetty just kind of grins through like these kind of gnarly teeth. He just chuckles. Opportunity, yeah. Rest my bones. You were saying?
Oh, sorry, I was just wondering, what's the quickest way for us to get a message back to Belliphauna then to let her know that she's okay to come through Zelbros now rather than having to find another way around? Or do we all just head back?
At that point, Vina also speaks up. She's, oh yeah, that thing before you tried smoke signaling them, they don't know anything about that. I was lucky I stopped by and could tell them what was what. The smoke signals you sent earlier. And clue. They thought something was on fire. So we're probably gonna have to run back there on foot. Somebody.
Okay.
And at this point I'm gonna say that, well, decide whether or not you want to go yourself or whether or not you want to send someone to go back to the caravan. But at this point, you have about... The villagers really want to have about 2 days to kind of get their stuff together.
I think we all need a rest.
Discussions. So, and it's like about noon, midday.
I mean, we could go back to Belliphauna and explain what happened and see if she wants to come into town and talk to these people. I mean, she might be really pissed off at me just saying, "Oh, look, why don't you come to Panas with us?" So
you do you want to talk to her in person, or do you want to like?
What do you reckon?
Send Jomont to like?
Do you guys want to rest and hole up and?
How long will it take to get back to him?
That's a good question.
Well, you don't have zombies kind of making it hard for you now, so they're about half a day outside of Zelbros. So if you like, it's tricky, like, because people want to like do some kind of ceremony, but you can kind of like negotiate, like, hey, let's all go to the caravan now, and then we'll come back tomorrow. Together or something like that, and do everything that you guys want to do. Or you know, I mean, I think if you say, hey, Jomont, stay here and like, you know, just make sure nobody does anything stupid, and you know, tell the warden that you'll be back in the morning. You guys could go to the caravan, be there by the evening, and then come back, you know, in the morning.
Now, what does everyone think?
But it would probably take you till about dusk to get there.
I don't know.
What if Helena flew?
That's true.
What's my fly? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would that make it quicker for her?
Is there a time limit on your
Oh, there is
4 hours?
something like that. Yeah.
That's only because I was flicking up the notes to find out about the cultists and I saw something about it. Sure, it was 4 hours a day.
Where are those boots?
I think your boots. I'm not sure. Do you fly faster than you walk? Oh yeah, you the same speed. Okay.
Alright, so it won't make any difference. Okay.
But she gets to beeline there. So I would say like beelining. She has enough where she could fly there within 4 hours, but she wouldn't be able to fly back.
Yeah.
So say it would take her 4 hours to fly there, but only 6 hours. It would take 6 hours to like walk there.
I don't know. I mean, we could go back, get her, and then she could head into town, and we can just sleep in the cars.
Oh, here's a good thing I should remind you of. If the caravan was to move on by road, they have to go through the town.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we said that if we weren't, you know, she would have to find another way around. So really, we want to let her know that she can come into town now,
Yeah.
and it's safe.
Yeah.
So she would be heading this way anyway with this.
So maybe Elena just flying there and telling her like, yo, you can take the road now and meet up with us, and just ride back to meet you. They'll arrive the next day. And we aren't gonna play by play this. I mean, I just wanted to know like who's what where.
I like it. So I'll fly.
If you want to just wait to tell her any of the news about, hey, we just volunteered for like 24 survivors to come with you.
Yeah.
You can like just delay that message and be like, hey, it's all clear, and come
Here, come on town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally doable.
Let's do it.
So,
yeah. Okay.
So everybody gets a long rest. At different times, because like Terel and Kai, you get to kind of collapse as soon as you're ready. But Galena has to delay a little bit. She has to fly to the camp and tell them, hey, you guys can head up and start heading towards the town. And so the caravan does kind of start to pack up some stuff and get ready to get a move on before they settle down for the night. And they kind of get like an early start on being road ready. But they still camp there for the night, but get up with the dawn and roll into town. So by mid-morning on the 13th of Marvinoth, the group arrives in town. The caravan has joined you in Zelbras. And over this time, the villagers have found a couple more survivors. So the numbers have swelled up to about 30.
Still not really a big dint in what was an 800 village population, is it?
Yeah. There's been a large dent in the population. You find a lot of the people who have survived are children with no appreciable skills to rebuild a village. Like more than half of them. So there's only about...
Right.
Basically, there's only like one more adult found, and the other 5 survivors are all kids, kind of tucked into places and just kind of scrabbling their way out. Because they could fit into like nooks and crannies, and they would just stay away from things out of fear. And there's only a few people who have skill sets out of those who have survived. Most of them, if they do have a skill set, they were the potters who worked the clay from the river. So it's not really something conducive to rebuilding. But at the same time, their livelihood kind of centers around this clay.
Right. So going to Parnast won't really help them that much.
But Lady Belliphauna arrives. She kind of like swoops in. She's like, ah! Well, good. You did it. From what I hear, you didn't need any help. Which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that you guys are capable. That's what I pay you mediocre bucks for.
Well, it's good considering the help turned up way too late.
Ah,
Side eyes. Jump on.
they tried. I mean, look, they joined us at the caravan early morning, and as soon as they found out what was going on, they didn't rest. They headed straight into town, which I think, considering we kind of painted it as certain death and doom, was, well, I mean, depending on your interpretation, either very brave or very stupid on their part.
Hmm.
A lot of overlap.
That's a good point. Yeah, there is a lot of overlap in those areas. I mean, obviously it wasn't me. Nothing against you guys, but I have my responsibilities, you know, and I think we understand each other in that regard.
Yep, fair enough.
But Jomon has this weird thing about responsibility and duty and honor. Anyway, he did not seem to be happy about leaving you guys to all handle it yourself, and if he could do anything to help people or something, I guess. And, well, Garen seems to have this thing about, like a fatalistic streak, I guess. So if certain death was on board, I guess he was running straight towards it, right behind Jomont. And that pair that you sent with Sprinkles, and you also like Sprinkles is back.
Oh,
Hey!
Sprinkles is with the caravan, and she greets all of you with like groots and shaking of tail feathers, and she tries to lick Kai in the face. She's excited to see all of you.
I'm just glad she's not a zombie.
Yeah, the people you sent with those kids and that woman who brought the kids in your owlbear, I think she's joining us. She ran in with them too, so I guess that, I don't know, that either means she's stupid or, I don't know. She seems a little bit savvy. I thought she was pretty savvy up until she went into town with, Joe.
Yeah.
So, jury's out on that one. So, how long till we can get on the road?
So are we gonna join the thing that they want to do, the ceremony for the dead? Just pay respects and then go? Have we explained to her about, she knows that people might join us, yeah? Because she knows about the caravan as are going.
Well, she knows that Dina is coming.
Yeah, does she know that Terel has just said, oh, if you don't want to stay here, you can come with us?
No, you haven't told her.
Alright, then I better tell her that. By the way, because there's only 30 of them left out of a village of 800, I've told them that if any of them want to come with us rather than try and rebuild this place, you would help them.
Well, yeah,
Because we can't leave all these kids here.
what number? More kids? There's more kids. What kind of numbers are we talking about here?
It's only like 30.
Only 30? Okay. Parnas, there's plenty of room in Parnas for 30 more people. And that's great. Yeah. But how many of them are kids? And do they have parents?
I suspect a lot of the parents were killed, but I'm going to take her over to Culpepper. He can tell her who's with who, I suppose.
And you see her, he's talking to her and giving her, like, you know, an accounting. And you see her eyes kind of get, like, big. And she seems to kind of, her expression seems a little bit torn. And she nods to him, and he nods back. And she kind of wanders back to you. Kind of like this look in her eye. You're not, like, just on the surface, you're not quite sure what she's thinking.
Oh shit, she's pissed at me.
Except she volunteers. Only about 2 of those kids have people. Only 2 of them. What am I going to do about kids?
Do you honestly think there's no one in your... Is it a village? Is it a town? How big is Panas?
It's a village that has great potential to be a town.
Do you not think that anyone there would be happy to give some orphaned kid a home?
Well, that's possible. That's totally possible.
Do we know for definite that they're all coming with us, or...?
But I've learned that sometimes it's not a good idea to assume how the people are going to respond to things, because sometimes they're very unreasonable. You know, like, even if you do a whole bunch of stuff to try to help them out, you know, some of them are just going to dig in their heels and be assholes about it.
That's true.
You know, you just have to keep deluging them with more and more stuff and better opportunities, and just show them that things can be better. Yeah. Okay, yeah, kids. I'll figure something out. Because, I mean, we can't leave them here, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so I have to think about this. How are we going to look for these people? And oh my god. Do they have any... Okay, there's the two wagons that, like, Lena and her uncle, that creepy guy, they both had wagons. And I think there was a third that they had that wasn't occupied. So that's 3 wagons. Do you think... Are there more horses? Are there anything? There's like more wagons? Carts?
I'm assuming there'll be cats, but I'm not sure about animals. I'm assuming all the animals are dead.
Crap. We need more animals. We've got livestock. I mean, maybe some of the oxen that we have could maybe pull something in a pinch.
What have we got between here and Panas?
There's several towns. The next one, though, is Loudwater, and it's not... I don't think it has any inhabitants. We might come across some kind of outpost along the road, though, like some hamlet or a little fishing village or something along the river. Once we cut through here, the road kind of shakes up into lines, runs alongside the river a bit. There might be some small outposts or something. There's always a slim chance we could find some wild horses. I don't know. What do you know about taming horses?
Well, me and Yelena could talk to them.
I mean, I could talk to them too. Maybe we could just ask them, like, hey, we're in a pinch, guys. Can you want to come along?
Yeah, can you help us out?
Parnast. Future town of opportunity.
I mean, it's only the kids that we need to worry about. The adults can bloody walk, you know? It's only the kids, and the kids don't weigh a lot, so...
I'm also thinking, though, opportunities. I talked to Culpepper, and apparently the consensus is not a lot of people want to stay here.
There's a surprise.
I can go up and convince them to come to Parnas. And you know what? This might actually be an opportunity, except for the fact that I have to figure out, to make sure I can house and clothe and feed and care for a whole bunch of potential orphans. The adults
So maybe
is good
you set up...
because I need more adults that think I'm pretty awesome. Yeah. So yeah, and stay close to me because that will help make a good impression. Like I actually know what I'm doing. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah. I just think that they'll have more confidence in me if because you helped save them, and I could use I'm not really good with people always. So I think it'd be easier for you to build trust with these new people than maybe I do. I might come off as being weird or something, or just odd. Yeah.
I've also had another thought. If there's other villages around here, is there any of these kids that are potentially, do they potentially have family in any of the villages that we're about to pass? Because they might want to go stay with like aunts or uncles, or the aunts and uncles might want to take them in.
Well,
So that's another option
we'll
as
have to
well.
talk to them, but kids usually don't know much about stuff. They're pretty dumb. From my
But I do get the impression that Culpepper knows like everyone. So
Culpepper might know if maybe some of them have families back in Succumber. Then we'd have to get them back to Succumber. Hey, but back to the horses. If we don't find somebody along the road where there's more horses, the next outpost that I know of that is inhabited is the dwarven village of Oralvar. She can't say it any better than I can. Oralvar is down the river. It's like a mining encampment / town in the Great Peak Mountains.
okay.
We could do a little divergence there, and I'm sure they'd have some horses we could buy there. We had some coin or something to trade, which gets back to my other idea, because nobody seems to be sticking around here, and that clay in the riverbank is worth something.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was the other thing. Sorry, this is to the DM. Did you say that some of the adults that had survived were potters?
Yes. So there are people who know how to work that clay. The problem is the
Right,
clay is in
so-
the riverbanks.
So it's worth speaking to them about what we can do about collecting some of the clay potentially.
See?
And
You're on the same page as me, because this is what I was thinking. It's worth something. We've got people who can do stuff with it. We just need to get it back to Parnast. Maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe this is an opportunity where I can start doing a trade thing where we head west. I send somebody west periodically, and they harvest the clay, up until somebody resettles here, and then I take it back to east to Parnast, and we make lots of pots, and then we take it somewhere else and sell them and make lots of money and fame and fortune.
start a new business for Parnast. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a revenue stream for Parnast. And out of their sorrow comes opportunity for Parnast.
All right.
I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh, okay. Never mind. I think I can work with this. Yeah, I think I can work with this. But yeah, see if they want a couple of days. We'll do that religious thing that they want to do, or at least clap our hands, bow our heads, whatever they want. And we just need to make sure they've gotten everything together that's useful that we can use. Try to load up whatever wagons we can. Dedicate a couple wagons to kids, I guess, is a good idea. And so that means we have one wagon definitely for clay. But maybe if we're here long enough, we can some of the people back with the caravan are carpenters. So maybe we can make another wagon and hitch ups to it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here.
All right. So I think the first step is we speak to the adults that have survived. Try and work out if there's any wagons in the village that we can use. Speak to the potters that have survived. See what they need in order to harvest clay and keep it in a safe state to transfer to Parnast. And then you go speak to the people in your caravan about potentially building new wagons.
So you talk, kind of brainstorm and talk for an hour or so, and come up with this action plan. And so everybody kind of splits off and starts doing these jobs. Belliphauna sends some of the potters to go amongst the salvaging of stuff, they try to salvage any kind of vases, any kind of containers that they can find that where they can fill them with clay and then seal them, or at least have them so that they can periodically add water to them to keep the clay soft until they have a chance to work it. And then she talks to the people who can potentially build more wagons, and so they do some salvaging of wood from the buildings that survive. Other people collect things. There's one you discover, or at least Kai discovers, because Kai likes things that are made of money, that when Lord Brossfeather, when you cut his tether and he fell to his knees, kind of fell off of the nightmare, he dropped weapons. So Kai picks up a gnarly looking mace. From the battleground, which I forgot to mention earlier. Yeah, it looks pretty gruesome. It's like an obsidian mace, and it's got flecks of blood dried on the pointy bits.
Nice.
It's obviously seen some action.
But it could be worth some money.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, I think this has a little bit of magic juice on it.
Okay.
And you see it, and you're like, ooh, that could be made of money. I'll have that. Which should I just apply it to Kai's inventory?
Yeah.
Alright, it did it. Whee! So you're at that. But all in all, you guys have let's say 2 days to you can either spend time to yourself, you can occupy yourself doing nothing. You could help out on a particular activity if you wanted to. What do you want to do? How do you want to spend the next 2 days before the caravan hits the road again?
Someone else can go first. I feel like I've talked a lot.
Anybody in particular you want to talk to?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how many adults are left? The potters that don't want to leave?
Everybody's going to leave.
Okay, so everybody is going to leave.
The potters are just occupied trying to get together stuff to take along to Parnast.
All right. Okay.
The total number of adults. Okay, it's like Vina, Uncle Fetty. There's 6 more, so 8 including Warden Culpepper, and then Sias, Cherish. That's 10. And then 3 more people on top of that. So 13 total adults, and then say there's maybe 20 kids total. I think the number keeps going up. I'm writing it down this time. $13 adults, including the Warden, Sigas, and Cherish. 20 kids. And 1 good boy. And once Good Boy gets a load of sprinkles, they become fast friends. They seem to recognize that each one of them is a young'un, and they you'll catch them now and then bouncing around playing with each other. And they'll snuggle up. at night and sleep together.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't figure out the kid situation other than take them along and see what can be done in the.
I think Belliphauna is planning to just take all those kids along.
Yeah.
2 of the kids have people.
That only leaves 18.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of some Dickensian workhouse situation as a solution. It's kind of bringing me down. Oh well.
For all you know, that's what like Belliphauna has in mind.
Exactly.
You're gonna be like a little workhouse.
Pottery workhouse. Oh no.
Half the kids are named Oliver.
Oh.
Consider yourself at home.
Oh no.
The others are like David Copperfield.
Yeah.
All right. So if you don't want to like ask anyone any questions or talk to anyone specific, and if you don't have anything specific that in mind that you'd like to do during downtime.
Well, Sycus is going with Mr. can build the
Yeah.
turret. That's
Turret,
useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's coming along with Mr. I can build a turret. He is going to help with he's going to try to help with building some wagons. So I'm going to do I don't know, somebody roll a d20. Okay, I'm adding a +2 to that, and his proficiency, which is, oh wait, no, he's not proficient in that. No, wait, he is proficient. Wait, no. It's not carpentry. Okay, never mind. So that's a 14, which means he does manage to like help do one more cart. And then I'm going to say there's another cart that was built by somebody whose name I can't remember. Good lord. There's so many NPCs. So they have two carts built, and then someone else roll another d20. The 15. Well, that's enough. Say they salvage enough from like investigation to put together another cart quickly. So there's been a combination of the 3 carts from like Vina and Uncle Fetty, and then 3 carts have been like constructed and put together. They've loaded up 2 of the carts with kids and 2 of the carts with people's belongings. But the other 2 carts are pretty full with jar upon jar, like large kind of jars, vessels. You know, like the kind of like oriental vases that are big enough to stick in a corner. And it seemed to be like these very quality vases that are made out of this porcelain clay that they're harvesting. And they've been filled with this clay. And so there's like, you know, each of these 2 wagons has like, at least it has a ton of clay in it now. That is worth like thousands of gold.
Okay. Oh god, them wagons.
So like say 2 carts, each of them are full of 5,000 gold pieces worth of clay.
Wow.
There is the ceremony of remembrance on the last night that everyone is in town. And there's not much to it. Everyone gathers in the sheaths, and enter this temple, you see that the gold relief has extended to the walls inside. You can see there's signs that there's been a lot of cleaning efforts in the past 2 days on this particular place, that on the inside that maybe there had been some damage, but people have been cleaning and scrubbing and working on it. So everything looks very freshly polished, and there's inlaid gold relief on the Sheaves Elite on the interior walls. And there's a warm, soft glow on the interior as the night has fallen, and they have various candles burning, like in a circle, and different people are holding candles. And the villagers just all kind of speak the names and give memories, sharing with each other about those they have lost and those who have fallen. And when they come to a close, everyone wishes them a good journey. And they say, to the wood, to the woods, to the dire wood. They may not rest, but they are remembered. And everyone blows out their candles. And then at the end of it, Warden Culpepper kind of gives everyone a blessing from Shantea in terms of, so in the winter when we struggle and the world is the harshest, we do grow anew. We grow back, and there will be a bounty. And it's a solemn occasion. People take a little bit of hope from the warden's words, but they're all a bit heavy-hearted. They've been through a lot, and there is trauma they still have to work through. But all of the people, all the survivors of Zelbras, they're resigned to heading east, giving another go somewhere else. And as the next day breaks, they start to shuffle out, climbing into wagons, getting the kids settled, and there's one last kind of ho and hurrah and head count, making sure they've gotten everybody and everybody's, accounted for who's supposed to be there. No child left behind. The caravan to Parnast wheels through the remains of the town of Zelbras and starts to continue the trek east, east, and east along the Delimber Road. And that's what we'll end this session.
Woo!
Because I didn't prepare anything else.
But we finished
You
up
did not
right
expect to-
in time for spooky season.
Yeah, we finished.
Yeah, we timed that
spooky
great.
season. Yeah. Yeah, because I actually thought we wouldn't necessarily tackle everything. In fact, the way I envisioned it is that the combat might take a little bit longer. And then I would end it on a note where I was like, next session, you're going to have 2 free days. So think about stuff you want to do.
Sorry.
But you guys are all caught off guard of I have time. I don't know what to do with time. Time is a construct. What?
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. Yeah.
But you did it. And you picked up a whole lot of more people.
It's a party now.
And kind of as you're wheeling out of town, you hear Belliphauna mutter to herself, she's like, how am I going to feed all of them? Yeah, how am I going to feed all of them?
Alright, we need to think of some things that they can do with the kids. Good things.
not food things.
Not sweatshops.
Road games, too. Gotta keep
Yep.
the views on the road.
I Spy.
Are we there yet?
I feel like apprenticeships and schooling is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are the schools like in Parnast?
Yeah. Ow. I honestly didn't think we'd get through this fight in one session.
Well, technically, you've kind of been doing some of this fight for the past 2 sessions.
Well, yeah, but you know, the whole Brossfeather thing,
But
I
you
just
did do the
thought, you know.
and it could have if you hadn't attacked the tether.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, that area of effect thing he had, with each round that it continued, it got worse.
Of course it did.
It would have gotten worse. And the thing is that fireball, he has legendary actions, and so at the top of the round he was going to get to use a legendary action, which was going to be fireball on all you guys.
Ah, right.
And
You see, I did have a plan, you see, if I was going to attack the tether and then I was going to misty step out of the area of effect, because that's a bonus action. So, but just the fact that Divine Smite at 2nd level just did that much damage was just like, yes, chef's kiss.
Because it was radiant.
Yep.
And we established it was susceptible to that. So good job, you. And good job on the fireball, because the fireball took out like a third of the hit points on that tether.
Yep.
And Yelena, didn't you like do a lot of damage to the giant?
I think so.
Yeah.
Whack.
You took a massive swipe out of him, didn't you?
Between the
Yeah.
fireball and Yelena, the giant was near toast.
I need to find some new tricks to do mass casualty explosion.
You need to talk to Kai.
Yeah, really. Need to do some sort of fireball equivalent.
You still have like the holy arrows and the alchemicus.
I know. I was worried. I thought I needed to hang on to those to fight the big bad, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that was
It
easy.
just went. Yeah.
So hopefully
Yeah.
they'll come in useful.
Well, I mean, there was always like that possibility that you guys were going to be tempted by all of the undead and attack things that weren't necessarily Zelbros, or that you would try to just attack him like physically and not do the tether thing, which would have made it harder and take a lot longer. But I mean, that's purposely like why I set up the alternative, and I didn't know if you guys would take it or not. Because sometimes when I set things like opportunities up and things that you guys like do something else completely. Or you don't notice, maybe?
Like, to go back to the metaphor from earlier, I'm somebody that would almost certainly die of thirst in the desert with water in my canteen. So
Yeah. So it was a really, really good thing. It was a really good thing that you took out the tether as fast as possible, because the longer that you reached a point in the combat that with every round that happened, it was going to get a lot worse. Which is why I did have like those people who were like ready to just swoop in and try to
help. Now it makes sense.
try to help, you know, like as once I did something terrible to you guys, there would be one group of reinforcements and then another group of reinforcements, and then we'd see like, well, how does everything shake out? But you managed to avoid all that. Good job, good job, good job. Oh, instead of congratulating you, how about the next time we play in November? I have November 16th.
Let me find the calendar. Okay. One of the few free days in November we've got.
yep, that should
Yay.
be fine.
All right, well, I will try to actually plan for that session, and I'll try to like archive this like last session as well as this one. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to do that, but I'll try. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a little bit rough between now and November 5th.
Is that the election date?
That's election day. Is your
Yeah,
your
that's
guide
right.
box. Which
Okay.
I think that's so funny, is that your election day was on July 5th and our election day is on Guy Fawkes.
sort of a trade.
Yeah.
So my job is giving us the day off for election day. So I planned to vote early, so to me that is going to be day drinking day
Yay!
Wow. Okay. Nice.
to cope.
Well, I think we will be sat here keeping everything crossed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to adjust my audio even more. I think somebody commented, and I think I continue to be a bit softer than everybody else.
I can hear. I mean,
And I don't think it affects us in Discord, but it affects like the couple of
The
people
recording.
who are in the stream,
yeah.
and it affects the recording. So that when it's playback, I'm like super soft, and you guys are all perfectly easy to hear.
Okay.
So I keep tweaking myself up a little bit, and I think it's getting there now where my normal talking is closer in line with your talking. Well, I will see if I ever listen to this recording next month. I'll let you guys go. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Good session. Thanks very much.
Whee!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.